Good morning, boys and girls of Kibira Academy, of both boys and girls of both class 8 and 9. Today I will discuss with you about the story, The Last Leaf. The Last Leaf. It is a short story written by an American author, O. Henry. Now, O. Henry is the pen name of the author. The author's actual name is William Sidney. Now, O. Henry is the pen name. It is the pen name of the author, whose actual name is William Sidney Porter. William Sidney Porter. But the story, in this story, The Last Leaf, there are three main characters. One, the three characters are one, Berman, number two, Sue, and number three, Johnsy. These are the three main characters, Berman, Sue, Johnsy. The setting of the story, after going through the story, we can make out the setting of the story. This story, Last Leaf, is on the outskirts of Washington City. On the outskirts of Washington. Now, let's come to the characters of the story. The character traits of the main three characters of the story: Berman, Sue, and Johnsy. Now, Sue and Johnsy, they are female artists, or you can say painters. Both are young, both of them are young girls. In between the two, Johnsy is very timid, physically and mentally weak, physically and mentally weak. Is very superstitious also, superstitious in nature. He's superstitious in nature. Whereas on the other hand, Sue, both of them are friends. Sue is a very brave and courageous girl. Very caring and loyal. Caring and loyal to his friend Johnson. Both of them are budding artists. They want to make a life of their own. They want to make a name on their own, establish their identity, earn popularity by becoming good painters. They had shifted to the outskirts of Washington, rented rented a room which they converted into a studio, and both of them are staying there. Now, another major character of the story is Rupam. Rupam, he's an old man, drunkard, and successful as a painter and successful artist, and having a desire to make a masterpiece, acts as model to young artists and wants to make a masterpiece, wants to make a masterpiece painting. On this point, the three characters revolve around in the story. Now first, both the boys and girls of class 8 and 9, you should know. Actually, the theme of this story is, in life, in actual reality, sacrifice, be whatever kind of sacrifice, is not made only by the noble peoples. Only the noble peoples, or the great peoples, they does not make sacrifice. Sacrifice is also made by even a poor and a neglected people also. Even a beggar can make a supreme sacrifice for others by giving his own life. This is one thing which is based on around this story lastly. And the second point is that true art always sustains. True art always sustains. Now the subject matter of the story is based on an ivy tree, It revolves around an ivy tree. Sue and John C., who had shifted to the outskirts of Washington to make a living and to earn a name as a painter, they are budding artists now. They want to acclaim themselves, establish themselves as a good painter or an artist. They shifted, rented a room, staying there together, converted the room into a mini studio. But John C., who is a very timid girl, physically he is very weak and mentally weak, as I told you, and very superstitious in nature, could not cope up with the harsh climate, cold climate of Washington, USA. She felt sick. She was attacked by pneumonia, and gradually she is surrendering herself to that disease, and mentally also she started fancying death. She started thinking that death is inevitable and she will die as soon as that ivy tree sheds all its leaves. She is suffering from this superstition. And in the story you will find on an account that John C. also starts back counting of falling of the leaves, 7, 8, 6, so on. And is waiting to die. She had a premonition that as soon as the last leaf doze off from the branches of that ivy tree, she will take her last breath and will die. On the other hand, Sue, who is his room partner, rubbishes his claim, tells him that it's pure nonsense which you are thinking about, encourages her to live on. But a person who is psychologically, mentally surrendering herself that for death is coming towards her, is inevitable, no doctors on earth can save her. So, got John C. treated by the doctors, but the doctors opined that if a patient psychologically thinks that she is going to die as soon as the glass leaf falls, not a soul on earth can save her. She needs a desire to live, but John C. has lost her willingness to live. But Sue is constantly encouraging her to change her stance mentally. And in a very loyal and caring manner, she took care of John C. And Berman, another character, an old man, unsuccessful artist, failed to establish his identity, resorted to drinking, wanted to draw a masterpiece someday, and presently earning a few bucks by playing the role of a model to the young budding painters. One day came to John C.'s room and speaks ill of John C. about John C.'s nature superstition. Sue admonishes him. But when one day the climate, which is turned very worse, and the last leaf was about to fall, when John C. daily stares out from a window, from his bed, this old Berman, during that windy and stormy night, painted a leaf on the tree. And that painting saved the life of this girl, John C., who later understood the mistake she had created. And gradually she recovered, but at the cost of Berman's life, who died due to pneumonia. So this old haggard Berman ultimately made a supreme sacrifice and painted that leaf, and that leaf is really a masterpiece because it saved a young girl's life. It's a supreme sacrifice by a person who has been set away by the society as a rotten element. Next day I carry on.